Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Welcome to your essay class for today. After we have a practical week last week, we have done a lot of exercises last time. Am I right? For today, we're going to start a new chapter. This chapter is going to be about chronological order, how to process an essay. Now, the first week, or the first weeks actually, or first classes, or the last classes, we've covered actually the main parts of the paragraph of an essay, right? We've talked about the introductory paragraph, we've talked about the body paragraph, and then the conclusion. For today, we're going to move step by step through the essay, okay, through it. So we're going to talk about how to process an essay. When we start with the introductory, how to start with it. We have today some advices for you before you process an essay. Okay, in the class to come, next class, we're going to apply all these advices and theories or rules, and we're going to have a practical class. Okay, so these are some basic information about what a process essay means. A process essay is a description of a procedure, a step-by-step analysis and explanation of a process. So it is a step-by-step analysis. We analyze the introductory paragraph. So many tasks that we do every day are processes that we follow in a specific order. Just like a receipt. You know the receipt, قائمة المحتويات? So we have 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4, 5. Or to-do list, something called to-do list. Or list to do. Okay? So these actually tasks or process addresses a familiar process that we currently do regularly on that, or that we have done in the past. So you are the expert, and the organization of the essay is governed by chronological order. So it should be the easiest essay to write for you. So when I say chronological order, اللي هو تتبع وقد يكون زمني. Okay? تتبع 1 2 3 4 step by step 1 2 3 4. For each section, we have 3 sections in the essay. In the introductory paragraph, we should have steps. In the body paragraph, we should have a step-by-step analysis. And in the conclusion, we have a step-by-step analysis. Let us move on. First of all, my first advice, use always your first person. Because you are the writer. So you need to use your first person. I'm asking that you explain a process and use expressions such as I or we did this, and then I or we did that. So use your first person. This is our first advice. You need to use the first person. كثير من الناس عند خصوصا in Arabic language they use the second person, and this is wrong. Do not use second person such as you do this and you will see this. This is incorrect, or this is weak. Never, never ever, never ever, never ever use second person in this essay for me, at least for me. Okay? So you need to use the first person. So this is our first rule. You need to keep in mind, once you start an essay, you should use I or we, not you. Okay, and I prefer I, because we is for people. Anyway, you can use we or I. You should also remember that your audience is your reader. When you write, I'm going to be your audience. Your friends are going to be your audience, so they will read what you have written. So keep your reader, which means me, in your mind. And assume that I know nothing or very little about your topic. So once you write, you should assume that I know nothing or very little about it. about the topic. So, therefore, لذلك, you must define any terms I may not be familiar with. أي مصطلح ما بيكون غامض لازم تعرفه. Do not assume that I am an expert in computers or any other subject. So I am ignorant person. أنا جاهل. بدي تعرفني في كتابتك ماذا تكتب. So you need to keep me in your mind. Okay? So you need to clarify your description so that any reasonable person would understand your meaning. So write in a clear language. Do not think that choosing complex words or very unfamiliar words or old words or phrases will say, wow, he's a good writer. لا. The good writer is the one who writes clearly with simple words, simple phrases. Do not instruct me on how I can perform the task you have done. Rather, explain how you did it. So, you need to explain how you did it. I don't need your explanation how I understand you. But you need to explain by yourself how you did it so I understand it. Is that good advices? Let us move on. So, writing style. So when you talk about essay writing style, you're not talking about a diary or journal exercise. هي ليست مذكرات يومية. It is not a narrative, it's not a story. Writing an essay is a critical essay. It must describe a procedure that can be broken down into steps or stages. هذه الإساي. It has 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 stages. And you should decide that. I suggest that you should try to organize your topic into 3 main categories. ثلاثة. When you're organizing, first, make sure your thesis statement is written correctly. هذه وين بتكون؟ في الانترودكشن. صح؟ في الانترودكتوري paragraph. أول شيء لازم تاخذ هذه الشغلة. Make sure that you write a correct thesis statement. Then, the thesis should immediately lead to 3 divisions you make for your body categories. إذن هذا مرتبطة بهذه. First of all, you need to write a correct thesis statement. The thesis statement should have 3 divisions, 3 paragraphs, 3 sections that you make for your body paragraphs, for your body categories. Okay? Do you remember the logical divisions? It's just like that. In your thesis statement, for example, smoking is unhealthy for 3 reasons. In the body paragraph, okay, this is your thesis statement. In the body paragraph, you need to mention the 3 reasons. 1, 2, 3 paragraphs. How I come there are 3 paragraphs? Because in my thesis statement, I said smoking is unhealthy for 3 reasons. So you're going to talk about the 3 reasons, only 3 reasons in your body paragraph. And this is part of what we call chronological order. Make sure that each paragraph in the body paragraph then has a suitable topic sentence that outlines the stage of the process. Okay, so we have the thesis statement in the introductory. We have 3 reasons to talk about in the body paragraph. In each body paragraph, in the body paragraph, you need to write a suitable topic sentence that is related to the other paragraph. Okay? Okay, then how to organize the essay? Organizing your essay. The organization of this process essay should look like this. Should be like this now. First of all, we have an introduction paragraph. Okay. We have an introduction paragraph. So we have stage 1 paragraph. So we have now 3 divisions. Then we have stage 1 paragraph. Then we have, do you remember the transition, the transition words or signal transitions? Do you remember these? First, second, third. Okay, so here we use a transition, then stage 2 paragraph. Then you use a transition. So here's first, second, third, and then you write your 3rd paragraph. And if you have like any other stages if necessary, you can write 4th. And then you need to use a transition like finally in the conclusion, and you write at the end your conclusion. In the introduction paragraph, you should write your thesis statement clearly. Smoking is unhealthy for 3 reasons. Okay, right here. Smoking is unhealthy for 3 reasons. Okay, you mention here. First reason, second reason, third reason. لاحظوا كل paragraph تأخذ 1 reason in the topic sentence. Then we have a conclusion. The conclusion summarizes the thesis statement and the 3 reasons. So this is how to organize your essay. Again, this is kind of a summary, right, for our last classes. Cool. Let us move on. So each body paragraph, which was lined by blue, right, will be 1 step in the process. And various sub-steps should be explained within each body paragraph. Okay, so as we can see here, so each body paragraph is 1 step. 1 step. And within each step, you need to have some examples, details. Okay? Be sure to use the transitions to tie, شو معنى tie? To connect, to tie steps and sub-steps together, like to act as a bridges so that your writing flows more smoothly and coherently. Do you know the word coherent, what does it mean? From coherence, smoothly, to flow smoothly and coherently. So you need to tie the paragraphs together by transitions. And we have talked maybe 2 or 3 times about how to use the transitions. How to use the transitions within the body paragraph, how to use the transition actually to move to the conclusion. For example, the conclusion transitions like what? Like finally, in the conclusion, okay? So these are what we call transitions, or chronological order. First, second, third, fourth, and that's it. Most of the transitions will refer to time because the process paper analyzes a step of a process in time. واضحة. First, second, third, next, then, soon after, later, last, finally, and so on. So these are, most of these transitions are refer to time. So when you say first, because this is the first time it appears. When you say second, you should know that there is a first point appeared already. Okay? When you write third point, That's to say, your reader will come to know that there was a second and a first before. Okay? So a body paragraph should have a minimum of like 5 sentences. Okay? So my advice is to avoid to write them in short form. Just avoid having them too short. So you need to write like 4 to 5. Okay, but at least it's 5. Why? Because if you write in a three sentences, actually, or usually, not always, your sentence is gonna looks like it's a weak sentence. It's not convincing. غير مقنع. It's not persuasive. It doesn't attract your reader enough. So try to write a minimum of 5 sentences, okay, for each body paragraph. Because in each body paragraph, okay, I'm having a topic sentence, but you need some examples to support your topic sentence. Okay, for example, our example was my thesis statement: smoking is unhealthy for 3 reasons. In the first paragraph, in the body paragraph, I'm going to mention 1 reason. Because for example, the smoking causes heart attacks. Okay, this is my topic sentence. I need to mention some statistics or a doctor opinions or specialist point of view about heart attack caused by smoking. So when I mention, for example, doctor's point of view, these opinions support my topic sentence, which is smoking causes heart attack. Is that clear? So if you mention their opinions and your topic sentence, that's going to be easy task for you. Okay, it's going to be, for example, so there is no need to write unnecessary things. Just write your topic sentence, support it with an example. Okay? So, in the introduction or the introductory paragraph, good process introductions open with a general subject and gradually move toward the thesis statement. Do you remember the funnel, the actually introduction? It's just like the introduction paragraph is just like this one. Do you remember this actually diagram? So in here you talk about, at the beginning you talk about general. Okay, it's a general subject. So our topic was about smoking, right? You just say smoking is unhealthy. This is a general subject. In our thesis statement, for 3 reasons. It's unhealthy for 3 reasons. So here is the thesis statement. Right here, you should write your thesis statement. So this is a funeral introduction paragraph or introductory paragraph. Then a good introduction, by the way, flows well with no choppy sentences appearing out of nowhere. You know what is choppy sentences? يعني جمل متقطعة, like to put some unnecessary paragraphs or sentences just to go around. لا ما بصير. Just go to the point. Okay, so you start with your general subject. Smoking is unhealthy, indifferent, like all scientists, all sciences or scientists say that, or many scientists say that or proves that smoking is unhealthy habit. Okay, and you mentioned somewhere in Asia and Africa and in Europe some different scientists' point of view. Then you mention your point of view. However, some say that smoking is healthy sometimes for 3 reasons. And then you mention your 3 reasons. So when I say however, these transitions words help us to narrow down the topic. Okay? To narrow down the topic. So use the transitions within here. Transitions will narrow down your topic. لاحظوا هنا كان عمومي, then أصبح قليل, more specific. So use the transitions well. Okay, use the transition well. So good paragraphs in transitions well. They transmit very well. The reader knows immediately that the essay will be about a procedure, will be about something, okay? Will be about a procedure. So this is how you should actually start your introduction paragraph. By the way, your introduction paragraph is one of the most paragraphs in your essay, especially the paragraph and the first paragraph and the final paragraph, the concluding paragraph, because the introduction paragraph, in it actually you attract your reader, his or her attention. In the conclusion, you assure him, تؤكد له وتطمئنه that you were right in your thesis statement. Okay? First, always remember that the thesis statement of your essay is the last sentence in your introductory paragraph. Is that clear? So, your thesis statement, where can you locate the thesis statement? It should be located at the last sentence in your introductory paragraph. لاحظوا لأن الانtroductory paragraph فيها 5 sentences. The first maybe 4 sentences are general sentences about the topic. Your last sentence in the introductory paragraph is your thesis statement, your point of view. It is the most important sentence of your essay. Your thesis statement is the most important sentence of your essay. So, a great deal of thoughts goes into that sentence. All of the ideas you present in your body paragraphs must flow from that sentence, your thesis statement, and in many ways, your thesis controls your conclusion as well. أول شيء شو حكينا؟ مثالنا السابق, smoking is unhealthy. Many scientists say that smoking is unhealthy. Dr. Phil says smoking causes heart attacks. Dr. Jones says that smoking smells awful. Okay, smokers always smell awful. And another doctor in Asia says that smoking causes blindness. The other doctor says that from Saudi Arabia says, for example, that smoking causes a lot of problems, healthy problems, like for example the lack of taste. Okay, so this is a general subject. However, this is a transition word. جملة تحول الآن في الحوار. However, a scientist, for example, in America, says that smoking is healthy for 3 reasons. This is your thesis statement. Okay? الآن بلش. Once you say your point of view, here the essay starts. And you should control all the paragraphs and the body paragraphs and the conclusion according, and you should put them to support your thesis statement, your point of view. Okay, let's move. In the thesis statement, do not announce or talk to the reader as in the following example. These are bad writing. In this essay, I will explain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is bad writing. This is very poor writing. This is very weak. And many people do the same thing, like these examples. Many students, I have seen many students written in such way. In this essay, in this paragraph, in this story, I will accept. No, this is very boring. This is a very poor and bad writing. Or for example, as I mentioned above, as I have shown, I have chosen to write about the above reasons. So do not announce or talk about or to the reader as as these. Do not use them. Try to avoid them. Do not talk to the reader or announce to him in your statement. No. Just go to the point without talking to the reader. Okay? Never use the following expression: I think, I feel, in my opinion. Never use them. Just go to the point. Mention your point. One scientist said that smoking is unhealthy for 3 reasons. The first reason, the second reason, the third reason, the conclusion. That's it. Never say, I think, I feel, in my opinion. Because the reader, I understand that when you write your thesis statement, however, one doctor says smoking is healthy for 3 reasons. Okay, I understand. Oh, this is the author's point of view. This is your point of view. This is the writer's point of view. Okay? If you are somewhat creative, you can begin with a creative introduction. And actually, in the last lecture, I guess, we have had memorable conclusions and memorable introductory paragraphs, right? Do you remember that? Just go back to our last class, in our practical class. Even if you're not especially creative, your thesis statement must set the tune for the rest of your essay. It must have a subject. It must have a comment about it. You should have a comment. Okay? For example, look at this sample thesis statement. Here we have kind of a general introductory material comes before the thesis, right? Do you remember the funnel? So here is the funnel. Do you remember it? So first we start with the general introductory. General introductory materials comes before the thesis. The thesis, your thesis, must be the last line in your introductory paragraph. So let us read. Once those decisions have been made, the difficulty of learning all the steps involved in the deeper changing comes: preparation, procedure, and cleanup. There are many delicious shrimp recipes. However, I enjoy preparing French appetizer called shrimps bordelaise. The actual process of preparing a bowl of cereal is not difficult, but is hard in selecting what I want. To maintain a healthy, attractive, and happy she too's a regimen of weekly grooming is required. So here, when you say is required, a regime of weekly grooming is required. Here, a regime indicates a process, something repeated. To make this popular Y-shaped necklace, several easy steps must be followed. So that was kind of an introductory. We started with the general introductory material before the thesis statement, and the last sentence was To make this popular Y-shaped necklace, several easy steps must be followed. Here we're talking about logical divisions, right? How come it's the logical division? We have several easy steps. So in your body paragraphs, you're going to mention every step of this several steps. Okay? So that was a whole paragraph, but we've taken excerpts, مقتطفات, from the introductory. So the first point, the second, and the third, and the fourth was general statement. The last one right here is actually what your thesis statement. Writing topic sentences. This is actually one of the dangers of this type of essay, is to write a topic sentence that is too narrow or limited. For example, if your topic is next I wrote a resume, that body paragraph can discuss only writing the resume. You cannot switch the subject matter in the middle of the paragraph and begin discussing how you're contacting employment agencies or how you're phoned for interviews. دائما لازم your topic statement should support your thesis statement. Do not change the topic or switch the subject matter in the middle of the essay, in the middle of the paragraph. For example, so one scientist say that smoking is healthy for 3 reasons. So in the first topic sentence you mentioned one of the reasons, of the 3 reasons. Okay, during this, do not switch the subject matter. For example, I don't know why it's healthy, but it's healthy, right? For some reason. But you can't, for example, start talking about something else like the doctor. You need just to focus on your topic sentence, on the first reason. Remember, all your body paragraphs, topic sentences must flow from the thesis statement. So, pick a thesis statement that is broad enough to cover all your stages in your process. For example, I had a lady who wrote about her daughter's birthday party and wrote her thesis like this. After selecting the theme, the next step was to prepare the food. Then the entire essay must be about the food preparation. No other topics such as the games and the location or the invitations could be mentioned. So she painted herself into a corner. Therefore, if she had wanted to discuss those issues, she could have written, after selecting the theme of the party, preparations, focus on planning the invitations, the games, and the food. Also notice that active verbs such as preparations focused on the planning is better than the next step was. Okay? To be verbs are usually boring. Boring. She said after selecting the theme, the next step was preparation, the food. She's writing to her daughter. So always the use of was, is, or where and are in the your thesis statement is very boring, ممل. You need to use real verbs, okay? Not to be verbs. I mean, it's fine, sometimes it's necessary, but not always. So, this is her thesis statement. What you expect, because she said the next step was to prepare the food. So the entire essay must be about preparations, the food, right? But no, she mentioned something like games, locations, invitations. Therefore, she should write, after selecting the theme, of the party, preparations focused on planning the planning the invitations, the games, and the food. So here you're going to expect how many things? 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Four body paragraphs. The first body paragraph is going to be about preparations of food. The second, right here. The second about the invitations. And the third, the games. And the fourth about the food itself. Because here, her thesis statement in this one, if she writes this way, her thesis statement covers all the topics. All the topics. Okay? Where was the mistake? The mistake here, she only mentioned something in her thesis statement about preparation of the food, but then she switched the subject matter and talked about the games, location, invitations, and she mentioned all of these things, although they are not mentioned in her thesis statement. So this is a mistake that you need to avoid. If you want to write, if you want to switch your topic from one topic to other, you need to mention it in your thesis statement. So that was her mistake. Her mistake, her thesis statement was something, and her body paragraphs were something else. So also notice that active verbs such as preparations, focus and planning is better. Again, it's very important to remember this. You need to use active verbs. شو يعني active verbs? Active verbs أي فعل ما عدا verb to be أو verb to have أو verb to do. These are weak verbs. هذه أفعال ضعيفة تستخدمها الصف الأول الثاني الزواج وغيرها. أنت متخصص لازم تستخدم active verbs. أنت مش صف أول ثانوي ولا ثاني ثانوي ولا سنة أولى وغيرها أو تخصصك تخصص إنجليزي. So you need to write in active verbs. Try to avoid verb to be and verb to have and verb to do. So not only tell what to do, but also tell why to do it. These are some suggestions to aid paragraph development. So sometimes it's important to tell the readers what not to do and why. Inform readers of necessary cautions or warnings. Include not only information about the process, but also enough text to prove your point of view about the process. Define any terms with which the readers may not be familiar. Use pictures or diagrams that are helpful. In the conclusion, as in any essay, your conclusion of a process paper summarizes the whole essay, right? We have explained this last class. It brings the reader up to date on the process, such as explaining the results of this process. For example, you might discuss how much the family enjoys the patch you built, how pleased your sister was with the quality you made her, how much everyone enjoyed the party you planned, how you get a promotion for handling your procedure so well. So these are good ways to conclude your, it depends on the topic itself, okay? In the conclusion, whatever the current status is on the subject you did. So this is what we call conclusion, whatever the current status in the project you did. Even if you just do a receipt, you can tell about how people feel when they see it or taste it, and how satisfied you become when you see others' reactions to your work. When you cook something, you start first, the first step, the second step, and then you add something else. Then you put it in the gas, right? On the oven. Then it's ready. Then you offer it to the people. People eat it. Then you ask the people, how was it? So that was, when you say, how was it, then this is the conclusion. There is a sense of completion to the essay. So you need to use your senses. That doesn't mean that you need to say, I think or I feel. Okay? Just write it to the point. It just does not stop abruptly causing the reader to wonder how it all turned out. In the conclusion, one way to see if your conclusion is good is to read your introduction and then jump directly مباشرة to the conclusion, and then see if the two flow together well. يعني شوف أنت كتبت في الانترودكشن it should be the same, but in different words in the conclusion. Or do they seem to be a part of two different essays? إذا كانت المقدمة والخاتم مختلفات إذا أنت موضوع خاطئ، تقسيم خاطئ. They must be identical. They should be similar in tone. If you start your introduction humorously, your conclusion should be so. إذا أنت مثلا كانت كتابتك في المقدمة هزلية لازم الخاتمة تكون هزلية. إن كانت جدية لازم تكون جدية. Okay? Similarly, if your introduction is formal, your conclusion should be formal as well. Hopefully that I've given you good advices for writing or for process writing, for process an essay. Next class, we're going to have a practical class about all of these. We're going to apply all of these rules to examples. So get ready, try to repeat them and again and understand them. Thank you so much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.